ECG doesn't respect anybody. We've cried out to them. Since Budu's that we've met them a number of times. We've met them with the dealers, and people's businesses are suffering. People are just afraid to speak. You understand? So we have taken the steps, met them at the time with the leadership of the Ghana Electrical Dealers Association and even GUTA, and nothing came out of it. And so, if indeed, what we think is that if indeed the government or the president for that matter is very serious about the industrialization agenda, we think that this thing needs to be addressed. Fast. People are abandoning projects. You know.
I don't understand. People are leaving their projects because they're tired or there's no money or what's the case? 500
kVA is one of the smallest you can find. There are 1 MVA, 2 MVAs and all that. So if you buy a 2 MVA transformer, you can imagine how much you pay. And those are for industries. So somebody is putting up a factory. He gets to the point where he's required to cough out such amount of money. If it's not catered for he will leave it, or it will stall the progress of completion. And when it happens, it's unemployment that rises. Government cannot obviously do it alone, right? So you need the private sector. So realizing that is a challenge. Government supports companies that come under 1D 1F. So if you go under 1D 1F, you enjoy free electricity connection.
Okay.
Then, make things flexible. So why don't we just come up with a policy that makes it easy for everybody, so that we can have more companies coming on? And cost of running their businesses will be lower.
This is dated the 25th of April 2024. Helen, if you have that, share the detail with us quickly.
All right, so it's a provisional quotation. Again, this is coming from the ECG. Installation of a dedicated...
It's to the managing director, Pro Afrique Limited. The other one was to somebody at Laboni.
That's right. Okay, installation of a dedicated 500 kVA ground-mounted substation for Pro Afrique Limited at Weija, Botiano District. Reference is made to the above subject matter. Your request has been approved for implementation. The total cost of the project is 94,401 cedis 19 pesos, made up of 64,651 cedis and 9 pesos as your capital contribution. 12,167 cedis 5 pesos as VAT, 1,931 cedis 28 pesos as NHIL, and 1,931 cedis 28 pesos as Get Fund, and 12,600 cedis as metering, and 1,120 cedis 50 pesos as cost of excess power loss in the transformer provided by the applicant. However, your upfront payment of 10,000 Ghana cedis has been acknowledged. You are therefore required to pay an additional amount of 84,401 cedis and 19 pesos to enable us to process your application further. Kindly show your receipt to the accounts manager after payment for further action. This quotation is valid for 14 days with effect from the date of this letter, after which it can be affected by any new company directive as the case may be. Yours faithfully, Emmanuel Tete Akine, General Manager, Accra West, also CC'd in the Regional Engineer, Regional Accounts Manager, and the Regional Commercial Manager as well.
I have a receipt here that Awal shared with me, a Stanbic Bank receipt, transaction which is successful, 128,793 Ghana cedis, 60 pesos, paid to the Electricity Company of Ghana bank account, EcoBank account 144 100 9186, transaction type ones of beneficiary, paid on the 16th of February. Val Real Estate, the guys at Laboni, they paid it, so they had to cough it out. You insist that this is extortion.
We think that is extortion. The 15% company charges, has been around for a long time. If we really want to support businesses to be able to grow and all, we think that it has to be relooked.
Right.
And then the 10%, what we call contingency, it's unacceptable. We are all engineers. If you give me this building to estimate for you, there are things that may be unforeseen. It makes sense. But for items that can easily be assessed, why should you charge me 10% of the total cost of material as contingency?
Are you saying that the engineers at ECG know, but then they are still going ahead with this? What could be motivating them?
what makes it even interesting is that nobody accounts for it. I mean, reasonably contingency is an allocation made so that when something comes out,
some miscellaneous or something like that.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you tell the customer, "Oh, we charge you this for contingency. Nothing came up, so take back your money." It doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
So the contingency becomes then part of the build-up, and it's you fork it out and you give the money out, and that's it.
That's it.
But that's not how contingency works. Contingency is, for example, I've gone to hire a hall, right, for an event, and they say, okay, deposit X amount of money so that in the case of any damages, we will use that to defray that cost. If I finish my event and there's not been any damage to anything, you would have to refund that money back to me. But you say ECG doesn't do that?
It doesn't happen.
So that all goes straight to ECG's coffers.
It goes straight to ECG's coffers, and we find it to be.
What can be? What do you think? I mean, from your learnings on the ground, do you think is motivating ECG to charge all these monies?
You know, the truth is that there's no competition. In other jurisdictions, there are different distributors, so they have marketing people who go around looking for businesses to render services to them. But ECG is a god on its own. You, whether you like it, you go to them, and so. They decide whether to connect you or not. They decide what to do. Nobody regulates them on what to do.
Monopoly.
They have monopoly. So for us, we think that competition is good. If there's competition, it will get them to really manage, look at their pricing again. Yes. Another interesting thing is, you see, there are materials that they won't allow you to buy. When you complain, they say, oh, there are a lot of fake materials in the country. We say that ECG does not have, the only institution mandated by law to decide whether a product is good or not is the Standards Authority. And they are the same institution that certify products that you bring into the country. And the same people who supply you the materials are the same distributors in town. But you find that ECG prices is so high that for things that they force you to buy from them, the price is so high that you can't even you can't understand what goes into their pricing. Today, this 500 kVA that you just like, you can even get it cheaper, less than 12,000, depending on where you are buying it from.
Right.
But they will tell you that, oh, that transformer may not be good and all that. But they are the same people who test and certify those transformers. I can show you
to bring them into
when it comes into the country. The only time you can connect any transformer on ECG network is when they have tested it and so given you a test report.
They need to agree that it is fit for purpose to be connected onto their grid.
Yes.
So why then do they charge all these monies then?
That transformer, they would even charge you for losses. Every transformer will lose some amount of energy. So the losses that the transformer...
Yeah, I noticed that the loss of power in transport or something like that.
They will charge you, you pay for the losses. So if you bring a transformer that loses too much energy, you pay extra for that, in addition to your actual energy consumption. Because if the transformer loses energy, it means it will add to your actual consumption. So even before it is connected, you'll be penalized.
Well, do you think that the president will listen to you?
I mean, this time around, there's no choice. For us, we have a clear strategy. We've tried to make sense to ECG management, and they are not listening. They are not ready to even sit around the table to discuss it. And we know that the only person ECG respects in this country is the president. And we know that the president means well when he speaks about industrialization. So, I mean, there's no option. Unless the president is not interested in ensuring that the country industrializes, which we don't believe. And, I mean, there's no option. From here, we have a very clear-cut strategy on how to go.
Has he received the petition?
Yeah, so we are yet to respond to get responses from all the institutions that we've
you listed so you're waiting for their responses, or failing which you would then go to the presidency.
Yes, please.
Okay. And when will that be?
And so it's as soon as possible. I mean, this week, I mean, this is obviously one of our strategies.
Right.
We're hoping that, I mean, they will listen and act before even we get to the next stage of our... If you don't, in the coming months, I tell you, we'll take our next step.
I hear you.
Yes, I just wanted to, and lastly as well, I saw in both the letters from ECG that if within 14 days you don't even make payments, just be aware that price can even change. They say subject to company directive. So for those who are even struggling to make payment, if you miss that 14-day window, you could go back and maybe be slapped with some more charges, isn't it?
Yes, that is it.
But why is that the case? Is ECG operating some forex accounts that we don't know that fluctuations come? Because these are the engineers who are here, who are going to test the things, right?
Yeah.
So why the price change after 14 days?
I mean, for me, we think that if it was a situation where you are supplying materials, material prices changes with time, obviously.
That's right.
But this has these are situations where the person has procured everything. You are only rendering service.
Right.
And you are giving the person 14 days to pay, within which, I mean, the price is likely to change. Their prices changes when they adjust their material prices.
Right.
They have a system where they will put in all the material prices and all that. So once you have bought, they will put it in their system and use it to calculate how much you should pay them.
Right.
So if they go and if you delay and they check again and it's gone up, you have to pay.
Well, I want to thank you very much indeed for your time. Any closing thoughts you want to share with us? I know that your association are very eager on getting this change, things turned around, but what do you leave us with? So
for us, we say this is not a fight for GECA, it's a fight for the socio-economic development of Ghana. It can happen to Media General. If Media General's, your substation goes bad, God forbid, today, or you decide to expand, for which reason you may need a bigger capacity transformer, you'll be forced to cough this money.
Right.
So it is to ensure that businesses, the burden on businesses are lessened so that they can be productive, they will be able to make the needed revenue and pay the right taxes as well, and then so that the country, Ghana, will develop.
Does this apply to private residences, churches, everybody?
Nobody is exempt.
So if I set up my house and I say, I want a small 20 kV to be in my house so that it can support me when the lights go off, I'll pay.
Yes. You see, if you want reliable power, apart from your load,
10,000.
Yes. Apart from your load, if you really want reliable power, you definitely need your own private substation.
Right.
And so nobody is exempt. So we are calling on everybody, all meaning Ghanaians, to support this cause. It's not for us. Whether you like it or not, the job will come to us. We'll be the installers. But unfortunately, everybody is quiet. People are really struggling. I tell you, businesses are collapsing. See, electrical industry is a mega dollar business. People have imported products. ECG has banned private people from buying from private individuals, and so their products are stuck. Are stuck there, they can't sell. When you say ECG said the things are fake, and these are the same people who supply you. These are the same people who import what you but you are stopping them from selling their wares.
I'm not getting the story. Ajana 1, Ajana 2 is wow. Okay.
And this is why this dialogue is important, because for some of us who are not in that field, we're not privy to some of this. And then later on you get into business and you are shocked to your core because you never expected to pay this much money.
I'm now thinking of how businesses can stay afloat. You know, as you're saying, if they want to expand, you know. Well, thank you very much indeed. I wish you all the best. He's the president of the Ghana Electrical Contractors Association, and they are on a crusade to get ECG to tone down on how much it's charging for certain services so that at least businesses can stay afloat, and then the contractors will also not be, if you like, become targets for clients. Contractors will charge you too much, too much. They don't want that situation. It's 9 minutes after 9 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. When we return from this break, we'll go straight now to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. A dialysis center there has been shut down. Why? We'll tell you.